right, so I don't have the grapple yet, like I told you before. I don't have the root grapple, nor have I bought a rotating grapple for this yet. I am moving a little bit of Russian olive that I want to mill with the Alaskan mill out of a pile that's going to go into firewood. So here we are. I'm just using one of those, choker straps that are choker cables. It's not ideal, but it works. So I'm just dragging this joker out of the way, and I'm putting it in the other pile as I need it, which once again, not the most effective for time, but it works, and I'm getting work done while my implements are not in yet. And yes, I've taken into consideration how much it's swinging so it doesn't hit the door or the skid. So, but yeah, you don't want to take that lightly. Definitely consider what you're doing if you're using a strap like this to choke off wood and move it around, because it could definitely come through your door of your unit without you wanting it to, or smash something. So thanks, man, I appreciate it. It's a work in progress for sure. I mean, so it's awesome to have the skid for a bunch of the jobs coming up, but at the same time, it's kind of nerve-wracking, because this is not a skid that I'll be using on what's it called, residential jobs, simply because it's just so big. This is a 770, it's 11,000 pounds ish. So I will not be using this on residential work much at all, maybe a little bit, but I will be using it in the property clearing and fire mitigating work that I'm doing. So yeah, now I'm going to grab a couple of other pieces that are over here that I'm just going to throw in the bucket real quick. I got to drive all the way around. They're right there. They're those stumps that I'm getting to. And this thing has 3.1 hours on it. That's crazy. Still smells new, which is amazing. But yeah, it's as you guys know, these things ain't cheap. So once you invest in something like this, there's a good bit of stomach pucker, because, well, you got to make the payments. So yeah, you know how it goes. It's it's awesome to have. I think it'll be super handy for my equipment, but I do also think that I've just got to make sure I get more work to do it with. So I'm working on some state contracts and stuff that'll help out. But yeah, that's it. I'll get this in the bucket real quick, get this mangle of a chain set up undone, so I can roll these in, and then I'll have to spread out all those piles of chips here in a few minutes, because we've already gotten a bunch of snow, and we're getting a bunch of rain, and we're getting a little bit of snow coming in. And so this is adobe mud out in western Colorado, which also is known by the locals as cake batter, because it essentially is that. I grew up in Georgia in red clay country, and I thought that was bad, and it's bad, but this stuff is worse. It's crazy. It is nasty to work with. So yeah, I got to get all that strapped away and spread out, and yeah, it's just a day of trying to get this lot set up and in good play. I've got another lot I've got to work on as well. I had been either borrowing or renting tractors to do the work, but that gets expensive quick too. And you know, with the work that I've currently got, this just seemed like a better option. But I gotta say, I wouldn't have normally on my own bought the max package deal, but man, AC and heating in this thing is nice, I ain't gonna lie. Oh, I'm talking to you guys and I'm getting in wrong. There we go. I'm a big guy. It's hard to get in this thing if you don't have it just right. So I just gotta back up real quick, get off this chain that I'm on, parking brake off. I'm in my seat with the bar down. Come on. Bucket lock is on. Why is bucket lock on? I didn't tell bucket lock to go on. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. What is going on? I gotta figure out bucket lock now. Haven't had that issue before. New equipment. I gotta figure out the bucket lock on this thing real quick because I don't remember what it is. Yeah. It's not letting me. Oh. I hit that. Okay. Or did I? What is going on? Oh, I know what's. Because the door's not. W4005 bucket lock. Well, there's my bucket lock off. I don't know what's going on. I gotta figure this out. Alright, I'll be back on a little bit. Alright guys, so I did find my GoPro, but I'm having to use my phone right now because it's not charged yet. So I just figured I'd show you a little bit of my chip spreading. Even though, I mean, ideally I would be doing this two-handed, of course, on each stick, one on each stick, because, well, you know, it's better that way. But this thing, man, it moves some chip, that's for sure, without a doubt. It's awesome. This thing is pretty amazing. So I've got two big yards that I dump at, that I have to manage and maintain, and this makes life so much easier. I was renting before, skid steers, you know, before, and just kind of taking up the cost, but now this is like, and to be fair, we have spread quite a few chips with the Power Track 425. It's not like that's a bad unit, it's just not quite as efficient as this is. Sorry, once again, I'm not as fluid as I have been, just simply because I'm using one hand to hold the phone and, you know, one hand to do the sticks, which isn't ideal. I have mine set up in ISO, which, if you're not familiar with the new machines, which I'm sure a lot of you are, but if you're not, ISO means this stick here to the left makes all movements of the unit, and then this one to the right does all bucket work. So if you put it in H, it's like both forward move you forward, both back move you back, and one forward and one back make you turn, and then that kind of stuff. I've got it set on auto idle so that when I'm not running the machine, it just auto low idles for me. It's really quick how quickly it turns on. It's about, I don't know, 5 seconds, and then it'll turn into auto low idle, which is pretty cool because it saves you a lot of fuel. I also have been told, I haven't run it enough because, once again, only 3.7 hours so far. I've been told though that this thing will run basically like 2 or 3 days on a full tank of fuel, so we'll see about that. That'll be interesting to find out. I'm really excited about figuring out how efficient this thing. I mean, I know the new ones are way more efficient than the old ones, but yeah. So, and I've got some stuff going so I can get my, you know, get my GoPros and all that in mounted on this thing as well, so that I can do some live work with you guys, see what's going on with that. And yeah, it's working really well. It's crazy. I almost don't even want to use this thing to a degree because, well, you know how it is. It's brand new and you're like, dang it, it's so new. I don't know that I want to wear it out, but if you're not wearing it out to some degree, I mean a reasonable degree, you're not making money, and what's the point in paying for it? So, you know, this is not like the main focus of what I do with this machine, but it is an important focus of maintaining a lot for dumping. If you guys don't think about that, that is one thing I would highly recommend. The more you do to manage lots where they let you dump, the more probability you'll be able to dump there for a while. If you don't, and if you trash it up, then they typically tell you to get lost pretty quick. And in our industry, that's not something that you really want. You never want to be told to get lost. It's not a good thing, because it's not always easy to find lots to dump on. So I highly recommend, even if you have to rent a skid or a tractor, you know, once every 2 months or something for a day, maintain the lots. Try to make the wood as easy as possible for whatever uses. So if you're gonna mill wood, if it's firewood that's got to be cut, if it's roots that have to be hauled off, try to keep them bunched up and let the owners of the lot know that visually and verbally that you're doing what you can to maintain the lot for them, and try to make concessions for them. You know, it helps quite a bit. So yeah, but in the meantime, just spreading chips out here. Let's see, I've spread quite a few already, so that's what I've gotten done. All right, gonna get back at it.